Welcome, everybody, to Age of Radio Mercury, your home for podcasting and pop culture news. My name is Jeremy Quintanilla. This is my trusty sidekick, Trey. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about Google I/O a little bit, even though we talked about it yesterday on our Mercury spaces that we had over on the X platform. We're also going to talk a little bit about Wizards of the Coast union busting. And there is so much pod news on this episode. I am super, super excited, especially about podcasts cracking down on AI impersonation. But before we get into all of that greatness, Trey, how are you since I spoke with you yesterday, sir?
I am doing fantastic. Been a really nice week, honestly.
Yeah, what'd you do this week? I'm sure I asked you that
Um,
yesterday on Mercury, but I forgot already.
Not a lot, honestly. Palled around with my grandma a little bit today. Working on some ideas. I'm going to be putting out a Substack, I think, next week that's going to detail a bunch of ideas, unless I can think of a way to become like a consultancy or something like that. Because I have all of these ideas and not a lot I can do with them. So I'm going to make a Substack with all of that stuff and make some content with that. Because I've had a lot of good ideas this week.
That's
Um,
great.
Other than that, a pretty good week. How's your week been?
It's been interesting. I was really excited because I got this cord, and this cord lets me connect one into a phone and the other into our Zoom L8 here, so we could prank call Dustin specifically. But that weaseled his way out of this again because we can't prank call Dustin because I couldn't figure it how to work because Dustin's usually the person that figures out how to make this stuff work, but we can't let him in on it. It works like the way that the Zoom works is what you can do is when you have it on that channel, you should be able to connect a phone to it, and then it will feed in like the music to that channel when it's activated on. And me and you were getting it to work kind of like when I was doing like playing the music. Like this is a New York Times article, but it's not flipping through to the channel for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, it definitely is. I almost feel like there was a little bit of cross, like the streams are crossing. I don't know the model of the thing, so I can't. But it's weird that it was so iffy.
Well, yeah, but the other problem is I never update the firmware on this. And so sometimes there's like a firmware issue where like you have to update or there's a driver update issue. And when I do that, then sometimes it'll fix it because that's one of my favorite pieces about the L8. Because the idea is you should be able to record a podcast. Like we should be able to call someone and record a podcast. You know what I mean? Like that's how what this is designed for. So if you have it put into your like digital audio workstation, you can call people and it would, hopefully maybe work. Maybe it wouldn't work. Um, but yeah. So that was part of my week. I don't know. Had to spend some time at the bank, got an LLC document signed, got a checking account open for it. In my dope updates and insights channel, I'm going to update some of my portfolio around dividend stocks and what I'm planning to do and what I'm trying to do. So I've been doing that. I've just been working a lot here. Building our library has been really fun. So we're gonna go to the bookstore after this, myself and Maria, and get some more books. So I think that'll be fun. And then I'm thinking about getting one of those like, have you seen those like calendars for the house that are like a digital calendar?
Oh yeah, the ones that update based on everybody's like Google Calendar. Those things are really cool.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go buy one of those. We found one that we like. So I think they sell them at Best Buy. We're gonna go buy one of those maybe after this. But other than that, it's been a pretty good week. Thanks for jumping on the new Wealth Transfer podcast. That was exciting. You were on there
Oh,
telling me that I was on the wrong line on my microphone. Really excited about that.
I always try to be around for some of the chat for those episodes because they are extremely informative.
Yeah, from an investing standpoint of what's going on in the world, that podcast is really, really good. This show, on the other hand, talks about lately AI stuff, and that's what we're going to talk about right now. AI stuff. So, Trey, we sit down and did our X Spaces. If you guys want to follow us on X, it's on X at Age of Radio. So go check that out. We try to do some X Spaces, and tomorrow I'm doing some tech training with some new team members for Age of Radio so that we can get some of the tech issues more streamlined for when podcasts come on and stuff. And tomorrow I'm going to use Mercury as a way to teach them to make a feed in Megaphone. And so I'll be building out the Mercury podcast feed, which will have those X Spaces on it if people missed it. So, the great thing about X Spaces, though, is that people can come in and be a part of the conversation. So if you guys ever want to be on the podcast, coming on the X Spaces when we do them, I think we have another one in a couple of weeks for Daredevil Reborn Season 2, which I haven't watched any episode because all I do is work. So we'll have to make some time for that. But if you want to come and talk to us about how we suck at talking about Daredevil because I don't watch any of the episodes, then you can come and tell us that and be on the podcast. So I'm really excited about that.
So fun thing here. We have like 3 in the next month and a half, maybe 4.
Oh, that's fine. I love making content.
We have WWDC, we have Summer Games Fest, and we have Daredevil all in one. Oh, you know what? I think we were combining Summer Games Fest and WWDC. So
yeah, so it's 2. 2 plus then the one that we just did for Google I/O. Trey, to get us started on Google I/O, I have a video queued up, but this is this is like the one that I went through with a lot of it. What is it that you enjoyed about Google I/O? And maybe we can start. What were some of your favorite highlights?
So it's kind of unfortunate because this is everything that I really liked was in a different video.
Great.
I thought that the new version of Android looks pretty cool.
No, let's go find that. Hold on.
All
right, hold on. Let me see. Let me see if we can find that. Android, Google I/O. Here we go. Google Android Show I/O. Here we go. We'll do this one. I think this is going to be a quick recap, but we can talk about them. Hold on.
No. I also thought that the new layout in Gemini is pretty cool. I use Gemini quite heavily, so.
Yeah, I don't. The only thing, and maybe I'm missing it. Do you have the ability to create projects inside of it?
So their projects feature is a bit different because it's specifically linked to Notebook LM. So you can create projects with multiple chats and stuff, but it's literally their notebooks. Which could be a good thing because that means you can also add other resources.
Yep. All right, so this is Catch Recap of an Android Show I/O edition. This is only 1 minute and 30 seconds. I'm going to play this and see what we learned from it, if anything.
Sure.
It might be the biggest year of Android updates ever, and we showed them all off in our latest I/O edition of the Android Show. First, we introduced Gemini Intelligence.
Gemini Intelligence brings the best of Gemini to our most advanced Android devices.
Then we dropped a ton of updates that make your everyday Android experience better, like this.
We've hand-refined nearly 4,000 emoji to be richer, delightful, and more true to how you actually express yourself.
And this.
We've teamed up with Meta to bring the best of Instagram to our most advanced Android devices.
And even this.
We're introducing Pause Point. When I open an app I've marked as distracting, Pause Point gives me a moment of pause for 10 seconds, giving me the time to ask, why am I really here?
But it's not just phones that are getting better. We're bringing massive upgrades to Android Auto.
We are introducing a premium entertainment experience. For the first time, you'll be able to watch videos in Android Auto from your favorite apps.
And we're redefining the laptop category.
How?
This is a big one.
How is that safe in any? How is that safe, Trey? How does that work? Which is good because there's been a lot of times I'm like, I really want to finish watching this YouTube video while I drive, and I can't. Does that mean I'm going to be able to do that now?
Yes, you will. So it's really cool because when you're moving, the video feed becomes an audio feed.
Oh, what? That is. So does that mean that you don't have to have? I guess
think you
it'll still be
need-
playing. What, Trey?
I think you still need YouTube Premium for.
You still need
We
YouTube
don't
Premium
know
for that
for
to
sure.
take place.
I
Stupid
think so.
YouTube Premium. That's the only reason why I have YouTube Premium is for that exact feature. Because I want to listen to stuff from YouTube while just listening to it. Like you guys should be listening to the show while we listen to it. I'm gonna go. When I do that, does it get out of focus when it comes back to me? Yeah, it does. Woo. Okay. Let's see what
We're
else.
creating a new category of laptops that are built with Gemini at the core, work seamlessly with the devices in your life, and are powered by premium hardware. Meet Googlebook.
Okay, I gotta get out of here, but make sure to watch the full show to catch all of the latest Android news.
Okay, so Trey, what else? So was that the majority of it?
There was a couple of other things that were really cool. AI created widgets, which is just super neat.
Oh, that's right. We mentioned that yesterday because that's one of my biggest problems with Android is the widgets suck. So most of the time on the apps, there's like, if I was doing a widget this way, I would completely do something different than what they decided to do. Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Okay. Now you said there's a overhaul of the Android OS, or is this like the look and feel?
I think it's a new version of like material design. I think, or an update to it rather, but I could be wrong.
So if we think about Google I/O though, what were some of the non-Android things that you enjoyed?
I thought that, like I said, I thought the new layout for Gemini was pretty cool. Google Search was an interesting one, especially if you guys missed our spaces. We talked about that in a little bit of detail because of it seems to completely change Google's model.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can see where they talk about search in here. This one doesn't seem to have the one that I watched yesterday. I thought had better ability to change the captions. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me get out of full screen mode. Maybe that's the problem. All right, let's do this. Nope, this doesn't have it broken down. I don't know what I listened to yesterday. Okay. Well, Trey, while I find it, do you want to go over what the biggest changes to? Oh wait, hold on, I found it right here.
Perfect.
All right, so this is changes.
Our incredible AI features aren't just in search. Google Search is AI search through and through. Now we're taking an exciting step toward this vision, where you'll be able to create and manage multiple AI agents for your many tasks right in search. To start, you can set information agents to work for you 24/7 in the background. And these will work with and alongside Gemini Spark to help you get more done. Say you're really into finance and you want to know more about big biotech stocks, but you want to know with PEs under 15, positive cash flows, and low debt, right when it matters. It connects directly to our real-time finance data, so you get up-to-the-second updates on stock prices and insights on the market the moment it moves. Now, when it does, your agent sends you an intelligent and synthesized update. It helps you understand what's going on, so you can separate the signal from the noise.
So Search now has the ability to help you create entire custom stateful experiences, tools, trackers, dashboards. They're especially awesome for those long-running tasks where you want to keep coming back. Search proactively offers to build a weekend planner for me. And I've chosen to securely connect Gmail, Photos, and Calendar, and boom, here it is. Looks like it's ready. And below, it's got all of these cool restaurant reservations and beautifully laid out on maps.
People shop across Google over 1 billion times a day.
So Trey, did that go over? Because essentially they're introducing the search to be more AI functionality and moving it all over to AI mode. Is that the crux of what they're going to be doing with it?
Yes, that is the crux of it.
And so that, again, as I talked about yesterday, my biggest concern and problem with that is the fact that it's not going. Where does add functionality work, because like the purpose of AdWords and as it relates to search is about the about the company being able to push its company to the top. But AI, I don't think works in that function. But so like, you know how it like catered all of those when he was putting that map together of everything, or like all of the what was it, restaurants or whatever, I don't know what it was, but he was putting all this stuff for the planning of the trip there. Are those things that are going to show up there, are those going to be based off of advertising, or is it going to be based off of the search algorithm?
They never really go into it. I think that so Google search is always going to use the search algorithm in some way, shape, or form. Sometimes it's not entirely. Before, when it was first starting, it was a little bit iffy for the AI overviews. There was a whole thing about putting glue on pizza to make sure the cheese didn't slide off of it. Would you mind doing an experiment? We've never done this before. Would you mind?
Are you going to ask me to take my clothes off, Trey?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
That is a weird experiment. But what were you going to say,
That would
Trey?
be a weird. Okay, so we've never done this before. You have access to your X account in Grok, right? I would be curious, if you don't mind asking it, if SEO people on X are collectively crapping their drawers, as it were.
Well, I don't think I have Grok.
You have X Premium, don't you?
I don't know.
Cancel that.
I do have X Premium, yes. Oh, there's Grok.
you should
Okay,
be
I got
able to-
Grok up. Okay, what do you want me to ask?
Just ask it if SEO people are upset or worried after Google I/O this year. And I'd be curious.
Okay, this is the prompt. This is prompt. Are SEO people upset after Google I/O this year?
Okay, perfect. Do you want to show the window?
Well.
No? Oh, you're doing it on your phone. Okay, never mind. Okay, you're okay.
Well, what we should do is figure out how to get my phone in here. There's got to be a way to do that too. I think we're going to move to Streamlabs anyways. All right. Yes, many SEO professionals are concerned or frustrated after Google I/O 2026, held around May 19th to 20, but it's more strategic anxiety than outright outrage. Google heavily emphasized AI advancements in search, including AI mode, expanded AI overviews, shift towards conversational, longer queries, and AI agents that act on behalf of users. Why did this frustrate SEOs? Traffic and visibility risks. More queries get answered directly in Google results via summaries, agents, or generated UI, reducing clicks to websites. Publishers and content sites have already faced this with AI overviews and IO signals acceleration. Some SEOs and site owners worry around further drops, especially for informational or comparison content. Lack of transparency, frustration over opaque data on how AI decides citations or visibility, strategy overhaul needed. Discussions in SEO circles such as Reddit's, blogs, and X often include phrases like adapting to AI citations and the end of old SEO.
Okay, that's almost exactly what I thought. I would be very, very concerned if I was a search engine optimization person right now, because this signals from Google a complete change in what they were doing before. And it's very concerning on an ads front, because they never said that this would be a change to their advertising strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, but the problem that I have with this is, yes, Google is a tech company, but as I pointed out yesterday in Mercury, the fact of the matter is Google makes most of its revenue from ads anyways. So 56% of their revenue comes from advertising. And I think when we include the 10% from YouTube, it's 64% from advertising. So based off of that, I'm curious to see how they're going to do this, where they continue to do their advertising revenue as we move further into AI.
So this is actually something that you just reminded me of. They are also introducing AI search into YouTube. the YouTube search box is no longer going to be a straight up video thing. It's going to have the AI experience there as well.
Right, but with that, you're more likely to. It's still going to move you over to a video.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So some of the things that I thought that were really good about Google I/O, I liked the glasses feature. I think their wearables are going to be better than Meta's, to be honest with you, as long as they can build some good partnerships with glass production companies or glass makers, such as Warby Parker, and I think it's Gentle Monster is the other one. I'm not a big fan of wearing glasses. That's why I don't always wear my Meta AI. I'm excited for Apple's pendant to come out. In fact, this is the first time in my entire life that I'm excited to see I've never watched an Apple, what do they call their thing? An Apple
WWDC?
Yeah. I've never watched one of those. I'm excited to watch that this year because I'm excited to report on it, one, and then to also see what it is that'll benefit me in my life. Because I also think that Apple and Google are both going to be going into the metric health watches as well. Because I read something from Apple that they hinted that they might be releasing that this year too, or saying that they're going to be pushing that out also. So where it's not going to be an Apple Watch, it's going to look like an Apple Watch, but it's going to be like my Whoop band, where it's just a health tracker. Where I think that they could gain a lot of share, both Fitbit, which is Google's version of it, and then also of Apple's. What's up, Joey? Hope you're doing good. I'm glad to see you have a phone or a computer or watching us in some capacity. Hopefully you can be on the show sometime soon, man. Okay, so with that being said, the other thing that I really liked, Trey, and I want to do this with you on screen so people can kind of get an understanding of it. So one of the things that I really like that they released is they have a full anti-gravity IDE now. I think this was released last year, but they highlighted it pretty big during this Google I/O because it was very AI centric. So I have anti-gravity, which is their AI integrated development. What's the I stand for in IDE? Integrated development environment.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep. So this is what people use to like create code. So like Visual Studio or Visual Studio. That's the only one that there's JetBrains, there's
Cursor's another
Cursor. Well, Cursor's an AI one, right? I'm thinking of the ones that aren't AI, but this is like Cursor or Codex even. Would that be safe?
Yes. As a matter of fact, there's a new update to it. That looks a lot more like Codex from what I've heard.
From what?
Anti-gravity.
Oh yeah, it might look exactly like Codex. I don't even know. I guess I have all of them. I guess I should put them all on my computer and mess with them. Excuse my language. Mess with them. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen here. So this is anti-gravity. So you tell me, does it look like Codex?
You put it on and then.
Yep, I keep forgetting that they changed that in Streamlabs. I got used to the thing that it used to do in Streamlabs.
That looks exactly like Codex.
Okay, so here's my question: how would I use this?
Okay, so first off, there should be if you look at the tools on the bottom, maybe a plus sign or something like that, there should be a plan mode. If you might want to click like a plus sign, or it might be like the little tool indicator.
There's nothing, Trey. Nothing's on here. I have settings.
In the box.
Oh, plus sign. Here we go. Add content.
And then does it have a planning mode?
Nope. It has actions, browser, mentions, media. Nope. Yep. It says add content.
Okay, my bad. Just ask it to plan out a project, whatever project you want to do, and tell it don't create any code.
What?
And tell it not to edit any code. So like anything, so your blog website, if you have an idea, say I want to create a website with such and such colors and such fonts, and it's going to be and you can also give it a website, by the way. And it's going to be in the same vein as such and such website. Make me a plan of what this software will look like, or something to that effect.
Okay, mine says plan out a project for me to create a website for my blog. How Bill Gates notes looks. Hopefully it thinks that it says Bill Gates nose, and it tries to make it look like Bill Gates nose. Kind of like Bill Gates notes look. Make me a plan on what this site would look like. Please use color scheme found on ageofradio.com. Okay.
One more thing I would suggest to use is list out the benefits and drawbacks of different frameworks.
List out the benefits and drawbacks of different frameworks. Okay, I'm gonna hit enter. We're good.
Do it. Yep.
Okay, it's working.
And this
It's
takes
still
a little
working.
bit. So I was just about to say, it should
Hold on.
not. Hopefully,
Allow reading this URL. Yes, allow this time. Okay, submit. Submit. All right, shall we come back to it and see what happens?
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to suggest.
Fantastic. All right, well, while we talk about that, is there anything else you want to mention about Google I/O? I mean, go listen to our Mercury Spaces if you want the gist of everything, but I just thought we'd briefly talk about it here. But that Android Auto just really got me going. I'm going to go. When does that come out? Do you know, Trey?
No idea. Sorry. I'm assuming later this
I'm
year.
going to have to go jump in my Sequoia after this and see if it's there and then piss off Maria while we drive because I can watch a YouTube video or listen to a YouTube video. But when I stop at a stoplight, will it come back on?
I think it might. I would still be very careful on that. I hope that they don't. I think they might use some sort of mapping.
Which is probably the right thing to say, Trey, not what I say.
I think there might be some sort of a mapping thing where it can tell whether you're in your driveway or
no, it can't. So like Auto, but the cool thing about Auto does is if I'm like pressing on the buttons a lot, it will stop after it notices that I'm doing it too much while I'm driving. And it'll say, hey, you're going to take a pause from doing this. Essentially, look at the road. It doesn't say specifically those words, but that's essentially the gist of what it does. All right. So Wizards of the Coast begs staff to think twice before voting to unionize. It is about the kind of relationship you want to have with the rest of the Wizards organization moving forward. Wizards of the Coast, if you don't know, is the brand behind Dungeons and Dragons. It's the brand behind Magic the Gathering. And following the announcement that Magic the Gathering Arena developers were petitioning to form a union last month, Wizards of the Coast has responded not by voluntarily recognizing their union, but by sending letters to employees urging them to think twice. This comes from multiple posts on Blue Sky by employees who received the letter, seemingly pinned by former World of Warcraft GM and current WOTC president John Haidt. It included a number of lines heavily implying that a unionized workforce would be worse off than a non-union one, including suggestions that workers may end up with worse benefits or wages than they have now. In the letter, WOTC managed Wizards of the Coast management uses known union busting jargon, including referring to the union of workers as a third party and suggesting it would be better to maintain a direct working relationship with leadership. The language carefully skirts the prohibitions listed under the National Labor Relations Act, which only bans directly threatening employees with negative consequences for unionizing or promising them benefits if the union is rejected. So that being said, Trey, what do you think? Should they unionize or not unionize?
I think they should. So it's always kind of difficult because a lot of people who are like in the business really hate unions, and it's not always for like terrible reasons. I think that sometimes like power corrupts. is the thing. People who, or rather, people who are corruptible go looking for power. Some of these institutions get way too entrenched and sometimes don't really offer, like they put more inside of the boundaries of making it difficult to run these companies than they do actually helping the people. But it's still important, in my opinion, and I actually think that that law should probably be re-looked at and actually like explicitly condemn and like say that you'll find penalties if you so much as give the feeling that you're going to have employees affected negatively if they unionize.
Yeah, since the announcement of our union, Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, Hasbro's the company that owns Wizards of the Coast, have hired Philip Fisher, a union avoidance firm, chosen to engage in a daily union avoidance campaign by sending emails to the arena team that is spreading misinformation and sowing fear among our colleagues. I'm a big fan of unions. I think that the better that there more are of unions and the labor force unionizing, the more it can impact their wages. If you see the stagnation of wages over time, there's a correlation between the decline in unions in the United States and also the decline and stagnation of our wages because people aren't fighting for their wages, right? And so again, I'm an advocate for unions for the businesses that I own personally, with the majority of the control. I support the transparency with people being able to share how much that they make between each other. That's for the businesses that I control. I don't promote that in businesses where there's other partnerships. We have, where we decide not to tell people, where we tell people not to share their salaries with people. I get that. Again, when you're in different businesses with different people, you have different outcomes. But my traditional stance on it is that I'm in support of unions and in support of people sharing that, because again, those are the things and how that is how the labor movement can fight to make sure that they're being taken care of, as the people that own the companies continuously prosper. And so Magic the Gathering Arena developers told Kotaku in April that they're unionizing in response to recent decisions by Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro leadership that have not aligned with the values of their employees, which I hope that one of those values is releasing so many ridiculous amounts of Magic the Gathering cards every single year and then also forcing people to buy them on Magic the Gathering Arena and also in card form, which it's ridiculous how much this has become a cash grab rather than making really good mechanical systems for the cards, but we're not going to go into that. And I also did buy the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set, or a big bundle of them to make a deck with those bad boys. Trey, you watched us horribly play Magic the Gathering. Oh, go ahead, Trey.
No, you're fine. Yes, I did. That was very funny to watch. It was kind of fun. I don't have a lot more to say about it, but I did want to say, because I'm curious, I've never bought Magic the Gathering cards. Do they not have the little QR code thing or the barcode thing that comes at the end of the pack where you scan it and you get the cards in the game? Because that's an industry standard now.
I don't know, Trey. I'm going to go look at that right now. You hold tight. I'm going to put you on the screen. Talk to the people. I'll be right back.
Okay, how about I do the Discord stuff?
I don't know what I did. I was going to try to put you as the main thing on the screen, but I hit the wrong button. I love this. I love doing these shows all willy-nilly. There you go.
Okay, so if you guys do not know, we have a couple of communities. First is our Facebook community. There's a lot of stuff going on there, but I am the head or the community manager for the Discord community. If you go, we have all sorts of fun stuff. We have trivia, we have events. You'll find out about all of our X spaces and stuff like that before anybody else. And we have very fun activities every once in a while. Every second Tuesday, we have our anime roundtable. And every fourth Tuesday, which is this upcoming week, we have our gaming hangout where we will play Discord games. this week the trivia question was a pretty difficult one that requires very specific GTA 5 knowledge. And tip for anyone who's already in there, there's already somebody who's gotten it correct. So go to ageofradio.com and look for the blue link. You'll find our Discord. And
beautiful, Trey. You did a great job. I'm back.
Fantastic. I told them about the Discord.
Fantastic. Okay, I got a pack of Magic the Gathering right here. It's the Secrets of Strixhaven. All right, so let's open this bad boy. So you're telling me that when I open this, at the end of this pack, there should be a QR code that gives me them digitally.
There should be. That's something that is happening in Pokemon and it's happening in Yu-Gi-Oh!
There's nothing in the paper. There's nothing in the paper that does that.
Okay.
And there's nothing on the cards that do that.
There's not an extra card that doesn't, like, that's not exactly.
No, because that's when I was talking to Dustin and we were talking to Michael, who is also known as Belch, who's part of the Age Radio team now that's going to help with getting the shows onboarded and stuff. When we talked to him about it, that was one of the reasons why he refuses to play Magic the Gathering Arena, because you have to you have to buy the cards in Magic the Gathering Arena, and then you also have to buy the cards in real life.
That is such a scummy move. That's
yeah,
terrible.
and I don't know if that's the reason why they're unionizing, but I can't see.
I doubt that's why they're unionizing, but there's no reason at all that they shouldn't have. That's so easy to do. It's literally like printing cardboard, slip the cardboard into the pack, have it linked to a code, you're good.
Yeah, I'm checking to see if I got any mythics in this or rares. Hold on.
Nope, you're good.
I got a rare, suspend aggression, exile target non-land permanent, and the top card of your library. For each of those cards, the owner may play it until the end of their next turn. And then another rare, Avatar, Trample Reach. Man, Trey, were you there when that sloth was kicking mine and Dustin's ass?
I think I might have missed that.
Oh my gosh, I was playing Belch, and he had this stupid sloth. And this sloth, I forgot what it had, like, I don't know, something gave it like additional strength, right? But then it also had lifelink connected to it. So every time that it dealt the damage, it gained that amount of life, of the 4 life or whatever that the damage was dealt. And then a card that he had kept adding to it. So he just kept building out his life. At one point, I got him down to 1 hit point, was about to kill him, or I got him down like 4 hit points, decided to let him live for fun because we were just starting to play. And then he got that card going, and I got him down to 1 hit point. I was at 18 hit points, and he ended up winning. And then he had like 20 hit points. What you learn in that is you never give anybody the shadow of the doubt when you're in a competition and you kill everybody. That's the rule. If anybody is in that, what's that show with Katniss? Is that like Hunger Games? If you're ever in a situation where you're in a competition, just make sure you kill everyone. That's the crux of that. But yeah, I don't know.
I actually did see that, and it was something where it got 1+1+1 token every time he used a certain type of spell, and I can't remember what it was, but that was crazy.
And then it had lifelink based off of the damage that it dealt. And then so not only did I lose to Belch on that card, then I played Mario. He got the same card, and it continued to whoop my ass. And then he got a different card that whooped my ass. And then Dustin was playing Belch and got his ass whooped by that same freaking card. Card was freaking ridiculous.
Good grief.
All right, moving over into some podcasting news here, because we are a podcasting show, supposedly, and we listen to podcasts, and we make podcasts. Spotify cracks down on AI impersonation with new podcast verification push. So I guess they're doing a green check mark. As survey shows, the public's taste for content generated by artificial intelligence is meager and drifting lower. Spotify is introducing several new steps designed to push back against AI, filling up user feeds. The streamer is introducing new ways, it says, will better protect creators and give listeners clearer signals and who they're hearing on Spotify. The most aggressive of these steps is a new policy that will begin removing podcasts and other content that impersonate another creator or host likeness without permission whether that's using AI voice cloning or any other form of generative AI. I think this is a win for Spotify. I'm glad that they're doing this. I hate them and they're my arch enemy, but when they do something good, you got to let them know that they did something good. What are your thoughts, Trey?
So I always preface this just to kind of lay it out there, lay my biases out. I'm an AI enthusiast. However, this is fantastic. This was sorely needed, and I would. Going back to Google AI, they also mentioned that more, including 11 labs, more companies are now using their AI detection type metadata thing in order to show that they are AI. Every podcast network should be latching onto that like a barnacle on a rock. That was
a fantastic analogy, Trey, and that is my new thing, like a barnacle on the rock. In fact, I need to make a banner that says that right this moment while you finish that.
I think that this is fantastic. I'm very happy that Spotify is doing this, and it's also I remember a while back there was an article that was talking about this exact thing. I don't think it was AI related, but some creator had his podcast essentially copied entirely, which was taking listens away from him.
Okay, so if you continue, Trey.
So this is fantastic, is all I'll say.
Okay, so if anybody of you know, one of the things that got Coach JV famous was he was really big into XRP. Something happened. I think it was when the SEC put their lawsuit against Ripple and XRP crashed. And in that, he made a comment. He went and did a live or something, or he did a video post on X. And in that video post, he says, "I'm hanging on like a tick on a dog." And meow, I wish and hope that somehow we can make some video that has that exact same thing. But he says, I'm hanging on like a barnacle on the rock. This is my new favorite saying of all freaking time, Trey. I'm going to make fucking shirts with it. In fact, where's Dustin? I wish I could crank call Dustin right now and be like, Dustin, we have to put in like a barnacle on the rock. What did you say before that? But what did you say that led up to you saying like a barnacle on the rock?
I say that and everything before it goes away. I said that every podcast platform should be utilizing Google's new AI detection thing. I can't remember exactly what it's called.
The Synth
so that
ID?
they can do this too. Synth ID. Yeah, that's it exactly. They should be holding on to that and using it very heavily.
Oh my gosh, that's the first age of radio. That's the first shirt that I'm ever gonna make for any of my companies that are mainly me initiative, because I'm not a big it's probably something I need to better at. I'm not a big merchandise guy. And because we have Merlin merchandise and we have 3T merchandise, and it always somehow finds a way to piss me off. And so, but I'm going to make a shirt. I'm gonna put this in production as soon as we're done. It's gonna be hanging on like a barnacle on the rock. Creator Trey. It's gonna be, and we're gonna blow that up. We're gonna make stickers. We're gonna make keychains. I'm so excited about where this is going now. We found our first great saying of the 2026. I don't know what our other sayings are. And we got to get a GIF now that says like a barnacle on the rock. That is the greatest saying of all time, Trey. That made my entire month. Now, that being said, though, this is not stopping them from people releasing AI content, though, on Spotify. This is just about AI, right? This is just about AI generated, or is it to help them find AI that's been generated? Or I guess my question is, it's to know if the AI that's being generated is good or bad.
So this from the article, I got the impression that this is like a first of many steps thing. And I don't know that they're going to ban AI stuff outright, but I think they're going to, one, flag it so that people know immediately, and two, essentially make it so that it's less prevalent because people aren't really enjoying it very much.
I still think it's GIF. Joey's in here arguing with me. He's like, it's GIF.
Oh.
Or is he saying it's GIF? No, he's saying it's GIF. What do I say it is? GIF?
I could have sworn you said, maybe you did say GIF. I could thought you said GIF, but.
It said, okay, on ChatGPT, it says that you can pronounce it in two ways. GIF like in peanut butter or GIF like in GIF. Both are accurate.
Yes, but people
and then
will
the creator of
argue.
the GIF, hold on. The creator of the GIF, that's fine. The creator of the GIF, Steve Wilhite, said the official pronunciation of it is GIF with the J sound. It's pronounced GIF. Probably because it has something to do with JPEG. I don't know. Let's find out why. Why is this? Dude, Steve, the guy that created the fucking thing, Joey, says that it's with a J. Hold on, I'm finding out where it comes from. Yeah, okay, so the G comes from graphics, and that's why people think that it should be a hard G, but the creator of it says it's pronounced GIF. So I don't know why. And I'm going to you know what I'm going to do, Trey? I'm going to hang on to it like a barnacle on the rock, Joey, because that's our new saying. All right, we probably got to get back to news. Where were we at on this news thing? Oh, say good for Spotify, good for stopping AI, good for our newfound t-shirt. And I have no idea what it is, but Joey says that it's still GIF. Like a barnacle on the rock. Where is that coming from? Oh, do I have it up in banners? I have it up in banners. That's why. Okay, everybody start using like a barnacle on the rock. That's the new that's the new shirt. And people are going to be like, you have 5 people watching your show. All 5 of these people are going to know what I'm talking about. And I'm going to make a shirt that's just like a barnacle on a rock. Trey, were you watching pirate movies?
No, I just was trying to think of a good analogy.
You're in Montana. Where isn't a barnacle like a sea thing? Where do you think of that from?
I was thinking of what sticks to things.
That's true. I'm assuming that's the exact same thing that CJV thought when he did hanging on like a tick on a dog. All right, Riverside drops FM as platform evolves into AI content. The podcast recording platform Riverside FM is tweaking its brand name 6 years after brothers Nadav Kiesin and Gideon Kiesin launched the company. The switch reflects what many people were already calling it as they dropped the FM from their name and officially adopt the Riverside name. When we started Riverside in 2020, we were building it for video podcasters, which is not a thing, and the .fm made sense. 6 years later, that isn't where we are, says Keeson. Recording is one piece of what Riverside does. Editing, live streaming, repurposing, all of it lives inside the product. All of it AI native. The .com matches what the company has actually become. We didn't change the name for a new identity. We change it because the old one had become too small, and I agree with that. I mean, that's normal for businesses to do. Domino's did it. It used to be Domino's Pizza, but they have other food there. They sell sub sandwiches or meatball sandwiches. They sell salads. So I think that's a good change as the company evolves.
Absolutely.
And they did not hang on to FM like a barnacle on the rock.
You're going to be repeating this quite a bit, aren't you?
Oh, I am 1,000%. Trey, that is one of the greatest sayings of all time because it's not even something people would have thought of in the beginning. Like, if they were like, what's something that sticks to something? Most people don't even know what a barnacle is. That's why it makes it so amazing. All right, more podcast news. Amazon brings AI podcast style creation to Alexa. Amazon is leveraging its Alexa virtual assistant technology to allow users to create AI generated podcasts like audio content. But more than just fill feeds with so-called AI slop, Amazon says it has partnered with several leading news organizations to use Alexa to create real-time news and information audio content. For the average user, it will take a little more than curiosity to create a podcast. They will simply need to tell Alexa what they're interested in, and within minutes, they will have a podcast-like file to listen to. Behind the scenes, Alexa will put together the information into the topic. It will also give users control over what direction the content will go, as well as the length of the episode. They can also select from 4 conversion styles, ranging from concise and efficient to warm and conversational. Alexa then creates a recording with AI-generated host voice. The recording can then be listened to on the Alexa app or devices like the Echo Show. This is actually something I'm okay with. From the standpoint of collecting information and presenting it in an audio AI voice format to the person that's wanting to listen to the information. Right. Where I have somewhat of a problem with this is if someone does that and then they start releasing it as a podcast from themselves. I think then that's when we start losing this, because PDFs now, Adobe PDF allows you to do this. You can have a PDF, you can click turn into a podcast, and Adobe PDF will take the content of the PDF and it will read it to you, which is fantastic. This is even something fantastic for Trey. Like, I would think Trey, right? You could go into Amazon AI and be like, hey, can you make me a podcast of what's going on as, you know, the Straits of Hormuz being closed, or what's going on with Google AI, or can you give me a recap of Google I/O or something? And then it could create a podcast for you.
Yeah, actually, so I was originally kind of against this because I kind of thought, I think like you did, that it's going to be another thing where people can create these podcasts, listen to these podcasts, and then send them out into the great beyond. I think this is actually a really good idea. I think beyond, so I have this term that I'm kind of coining called shadow markets, where, or what do you call the thing in the desert where it looks like there's an oasis and there's not?
Oh, a mirage.
Mirage markets, where everybody thinks that the market is there, it's not.
But you thought of Barnacle. I'm just kidding. You gave the exact description of what a mirage was too. Like, you did that so well. You're like, what's the thing where you see an oasis in the desert, but then as you get closer to it, it disappears. Anyway, go ahead, Trey.
This mirage market, it looks like it's there. It's really not. And I think that AI podcasts is that. If you are building something for yourself, fantastic. Notebook LM, this is also really good. If you are trying to distribute it, the market's going to get way overcrowded and you're going to fail.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I do agree with that, because that's one of the things that I love about Notebook LM. So there was I have a business called Q Financial where we do bookkeeping and taxes and things like that. And so all of my like financial subscription content, like Financial Times, Economist, Wall Street Journal, I had going through that account. Well, there ended up being fraud on that specific account. So I had to open up a new account and it had a new debit card. So I lost all those subscriptions. And one of those subscriptions was to Barron's. And inside of Barron's, they had a newsletter that I bought every month. It was $20 a month for this newsletter, but it was on the energy sector specifically. And what I would do was, when the newsletter came in, you can convert newsletter to an HTML like URL link. And I would do that. I would grab that URL link. I would put that URL in Notebook LM, and I would tell it to make me a podcast of the newsletter. And then I would just listen to the newsletter while I did something else as a podcast. This kind of technology for AI podcasting is, in my opinion, what it should be used for and how this is a benefit. Same thing when we were talking about the thing that I mentioned to you yesterday about about Google Flow. Google Flow is a product that lets you create music and video. There's a music version of it and a video version of it. And in the music version of Flow, it was a pianist was working on a piece. He put it into Google Flow, and in Flow, he asked it to create what some of the other instruments might sound like with this instrument. It kind of created that song piece of it. And then he gave that to his bandmates. And then the bandmates worked with that as how he was thinking of it in his head to sound. And then they started working on it and they came together. They went through ideas and they made a song. Those are good examples of how these types of technologies from AI can be utilized in these other spaces.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Yeah. And I think that it helps make things more accessible for individuals such as yourself who have, like when we were talking about the wearables, like having wearables that have AI and the ability to talk to it and find information to find out where things are. I feel that that's very beneficial for someone who can't see very well.
Absolutely, it is. I actually use.
I don't think you should be walking around with them on the street because I've seen you walk around to the car. I'm just kidding, Trey.
I was going, what are you trying to apply here?
I'm just playing with you.
I know you're just playing. I use Google Gemini and stuff like that, the live voice thing, a lot when I'm trying to find stuff, or if I'm like, I have a really hard time telling when a pot's on the boil. So I will say, hey, what kind of boiling point is this at right now? And it's extremely helpful for that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of beneficial. I also think it's going to help us get to the singularity, which is what I'm hoping for. All right, Pod News report card unveiled at the podcast show. Trey, we should go to London and go to this podcast show. That sounded fun.
That does sound fun.
That'd be a long flight, though. YouTube is winning podcast creators' hearts, according to the results of the Pod News report card, which were revealed at the opening keynote for the podcast show in London, which kicked off on May 20th. The results show significantly better scores for YouTube in almost every category, and overall, YouTube rises to the number 2 best scoring platform behind Apple. Apple, too, has increased its score after launching a slew of new features over the past year. Design and the Pod News report card is designed to capture thoughts on podcasting platforms from those in podcasting, where they're doing well and where they can improve. Promoted during April in Pod News, reaching more than 33,000 subscribers. So it looks like as a app-wise, Apple Podcast has one of the better scores. Pocket Cast is up there. That's what I actually moved to. Pocket Cast is probably my favorite pod catcher. Overcast is at 3.4. Spotify, our mortal enemy, is at 3.2. YouTube's at 3. Podcast Addict is at 2.9. Castbox 2.8. YouTube Music 2.7. So again, I think that I don't know what how would you rate? Yeah, this is how would you rate the following podcast apps? Do they do a good job helping you the listener find, follow, subscribe, and listen to your show? At the end of the day, I still think Apple Podcasts. I don't use it. I use Pocket Cast, and hopefully, we'll have an announcement here by the end of the year about what we're working on in Age of Radio. But again, I think that I don't know. What are your thoughts, Trey? Good, bad, Apple? You love Apple?
I do like Apple Podcasts. That's the one I use mostly because it's the easiest. It is extremely easy to use on my phone. I don't use a podcast anywhere other than my phone, except for if I'm watching something on YouTube, and sometimes podcasts are on YouTube.
I'm gonna hold on to that concept like a barnacle on the rock as well. Just saying that.
But I think that YouTube is also very good. Apple Podcasts is very good. I also want to we should take this as a victory lap, because since Spotify is kind of forcing itself to go in all of these different directions, including video, its rate has fallen a little bit. So
as soon as eventually we will have HLS. Eventually, all video will be HLS, and it will be all distributed to all podcast platforms. That's where we're headed, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with people having the ability. I think RSS feeds in general are the greatest form of freedom of speech, because we have the ability for any single person now to go out into a marketplace and share their story. Doesn't mean you have to listen to it. Doesn't mean you have to like it. Doesn't mean you have to, subscribe to it. You can hate it. You can try to get it taken down. That's the great thing about being in America specifically, is we have the ability to do that as of a free press and as a freedom of speech and as free people. And so that's one of the things where I'm excited to see them move in the direction, because people want to be engaged with the people as they're talking. People love looking at me and Trey, these 5 people that are on here. They love looking at me and Trey. But the point is that more, it's easier to do this than getting into a place, splitting the channels into audio, recording the different audio files, putting them into something, cleaning them up, and getting it. I love that medium, and I'll always continue to do podcasts as audio podcasts, but there is something to be said for video, and we need to continue to move and push more for this content being distributed to all these types of different platforms vis-a-vis video, not just Spotify and Apple. I'm assuming Amazon, I think you said Amazon's is moving towards that, or you can do that already on Amazon?
Amazon is building it out. They're starting with their own podcast, but it is coming.
Yeah. So, cool. Trey, do you have anything to say on this pod news? We still have more than pod news. This is a really pod news heavy day. We're not even going to get to any of the gaming news. I'm going to skip this. Yeah. I'm going to skip over to gaming news. This is getting ridiculous. I was just about to say,
there was a lot of podcast news and a lot of gaming news as well.
I know. There's like 7 articles over here. All right, let's get... Wait, that one needs to be taken down. Hold on. This is an alright one. All right, speaking of Amazon, I guess we'll go into this one. This will be a good segue into this one. Stop screen. All right, guys. And also, too, Mercury is brought to you by Age of Radio and also brought to you by Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto. So make sure that you guys head on over to merlincrypto.com and check out the brand new exit strategy builder. In just 2 clicks, you can create an exit strategy for your crypto so you know when to exit so you don't become someone else's exit liquidity. Moving right along with this. All right. Amazon reportedly forced developers to make a Gen... Oh, wait. That's old, too. Did I not add any of these to the new game? We talked about that last week, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
All right. Well, this is more union. I guess segue into union busting. Hold on. Let me just remove this. It's so much more union.
While you're doing that,
it's a union blast. It's not busting, I don't think. What?
Joey said that's why he loves Substack. And I agree. I love Substack as well. I think that platform is fantastic. I don't know if it does RSS though. Does it? I know it does like mailboxes and stuff like that. It doesn't do RSS except for podcasts though, does it?
It doesn't do RSS feeds into it, I don't think. Doesn't it do RSS feeds out of it?
I think it might for podcasts. I don't know if it does it for articles.
All right. Well, you know what Joey's doing with Substack? He's hanging on like a barnacle on the rock. I want to point that out there.
Right into that one.
You're never ever gonna. This is the greatest. This is one of my favorite things now, and I'm 1,000% gonna make a shirt. I think I found a shirt that I like. It's Gideon Anvil or something along those lines. Amazing. All right, so this is something to do with unions. I don't remember. Union blast Quantic Dream leadership over live service failure and the potential for up to 95 layoffs. I heard Intuit, the company behind QuickBooks and TurboTax, are going to lay off 17% of its workforce due to AI integration into the platform.
That's
weird.
Wild.
Yeah, Quantic Dream announced on May 20th that its first new game in 8 years would be abandoned just 3 months after launch. Spellcasters Chronicles, a free-to-play MOBA, multi-online, what's the BA?
Battle Arena.
Multi-online battle arena has already been removed from Steam with servers set to go offline in June. But the project flopping so quickly will also lead to potential deep cuts within the Detroit Become Human studio. Up to 95 employees could be laid off, and a French union is blaming a management for the failure, including director David Cage. This project started 8 years ago and led by Guillermo de Fondamier, David Cage, and Gregory Decanu. Was supposed to be, I'm practicing my French. It was supposed to be a reasonably sized project and was planned for a much earlier release. Le Syndicat de Travers le Rousseau du Jeu Video wrote in a new blog post. Over all these years, nobody questioned the business model or how the game was to become profitable. Catastrophic project management results in iteration and after iteration, exhausting the team and leading production straight to disaster. I mean,
look,
what are you gonna do? Isn't it always management's fault when something fails? Like, isn't that the whole crux of leadership and management? That's really the reason why something fails is because of the management and leadership.
I would agree with you. Yeah. I also.
I know this game looks pretty cool though.
It does look pretty cool. I do find it weird that Quantic Dream is getting into a MOBA. Literally all of their previous games have been single player, branching story type games.
What are some examples, Trey?
Detroit Become Human. What is it? Ellen Page, I think is something like that. And Heavy Rain, if you've ever played any of those.
All right, let's move on over to the barking dogs in the background. Trey, can you hear the dogs barking? They're so loud.
I can hear the dogs.
You can?
Mm-hmm.
I see. It's because T-Mobile's outside. Trey, I got a dedicated internet box for my computer for when we do the show, but I didn't connect it yet, so
nice.
I don't know what's going to happen. The annual Summer PlayStation State of Play has been announced, and it will air ahead of Summer Game Fest on June 2nd. Marvel's Wolverine is confirmed to make an appearance. The State of Play will air beginning at 2 p.m. Pacific Time, 5 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and Twitch. So far, Marvel's Wolverine, developed by Insomniac Games, is the only confirmed title, and it will apparently kick off the broadcast according to PlayStation blog posts. So let's take a look at Wolverine.
Been fighting longer than I can remember. I'd like to say I'm not a violent man. The trouble just has a way of finding me. But I'd be lying. Doesn't matter where I go. How far I run. Death's always waiting. Just not for me.
This looks really good.
Because I ain't no hero. I'm Wolverine.
Oh, what? that looked pretty freaking. That looked pretty sick, as us old millennials will say. Looked really sick. Trey, do you ever say dead ass? Do you ever hear kids say dead ass these days? That's dead ass.
Weird. Have. It is weird.
I think we should try to start using it as old people. We're not really that old. All right. Well, you want to watch State of Play? I'm assuming we're going to talk about it. Or are we doing something for State of Play?
I think that this is part. What date was it again? Was it? It should be like the second week of June or something like that.
Yeah, June 2nd. Go ahead, Trey.
I think that this is going to be part of, kind of part of Summer Games Fest, because nobody does their own, like nobody comes together for like GDC anymore. Everybody does their own conference. There's going to be an Xbox one or Ubisoft one. Everybody does them about this time of month. We'll probably cover it in the, might have to make that a 2-hour spaces, frankly, because there's going to be a lot to cover.
Yeah, that's true. I don't mind. I love making content for these three people. In fact, I really appreciate you three people watching. Some weeks are really big, some weeks are smaller, but I appreciate everybody that's out there that tunes into the stuff that Trey and I do. So if you're not subscribed, it would really help us out. Like, share it, subscribe to it. Send us stuff that you want us to talk about. If there's any cool news that you think's interesting as it relates to podcasting and pop culture. And people ask us sometimes why we talk about AI so much is not only because it's a hot topic, but also because of the fact that it is what's creating that is pop culture. Like that's what pop culture is, the things that are the most popular in that moment. And those are the things that kind of shape our life. And that's why it's important to have those conversations. But what were you going to say, Trey?
So two things. First off, that Wolverine game is being made by my favorite game developer company ever, Insomniac. I love those guys. They're awesome. Secondly, before we get too much further here, we might want to, just in case you forgot, we might want to check on anti-gravity.
I already forgot, Trey. Forgot we were even doing that. Because I was trying to figure out, oh my gosh, something's happening. Hold on. Something's happening on the computer with anti-gravity. Let's go back. Ooh, anti-gravity. That's what we're going to sing about. Boop. All right, anti-gravity. What's happening here? Waiting for user input. Ah, dang it.
It's not on the screen.
Oh. I keep forgetting that still. It's going to take me a while. We spent years not being able to share it by sharing the screen, and then you have to share it. Yeah. It's asking me a bunch of questions.
It does tend to do that. I tend to usually just say, like, as long as it's not deleting a file, I tend to just go, sure, whatever you want, always allow. I'll put my computer at stake.
Sure, why not? Oh no, I don't know what I allowed it to do. I think it was downloading something on the computer. What IDE did you use before AI IDEs?
VS Code primarily. I've also tried Zed and Vim.
Oh, implementation plan. Boop. All right. So it said the document outlines the architecture, design, system, page structures, and technology options for building a personal blog-inspired layout of Gates Notes, Bill Gates' official blog. So framework trace based on the compass theorem below, which framework Astro, Next.js, Vanilla HTML would you prefer to use for your blog? Project we propose initialize this project in Gates Notes blog. You should set the directory as your device, and then it goes over the visual design and color scheme. So then from here, can I have it make the page for me? How's this work?
Yes, I think all you got to do is say execute the plan. But when you do that, just be aware, it's going to start putting code into place.
But put into place where? Is it saving it in this directory?
Yes, this is the directory that you set it to open, which might be your documents directory if you haven't set it.
Well, no, it says user cesar.gemini anti-gravity scratch Gates Notes /blog.
Oh, then yes, that is where it will build the code. I would recommend choosing your platform.
Choosing my platform. What do you mean?
So, Nano, Next.js, what it recommended.
Oh, got it.
Nano is nice because it's literally just Markdown. You don't have to do like JavaScript, which you said you don't like JavaScript.
No, I'm not good at JavaScript. I can do it.
I never said you couldn't do it.
Oh, you said I don't like it. No, I like JavaScript. I don't have a problem with that. I think JavaScript, I like most things. I was saying I'm not good at it, is what I was saying. All right, well,
Gotcha.
That's fun. Okay, so then I could do that, and then it'll essentially build it based off of this plan.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna do it for fun. What did you say? Implement project, and I'll see what happens.
Yep. Tell it what platform to do, or like if you're
I'll
gonna do
just use
Nano
no.
or
What did you
Max.
say? What did you say to use?
I think in the platforms up top it says Nano, right? That's how you spell it, Nano.
No, it said Astro Next.js and Vanilla
Astro,
HTML
sorry.
CSS. So use Astro.
I would try it with Astro and see if you like it. Yeah.
Okay, so use Astro and what would the prompt be?
Let's use Astro. Implement the plan. It
All
might
right, and
ask
what we'll
you more
do is
questions,
next
but
week we'll see what happens.
fantastic.
Okay, so Trey, remind us for next week that we have to do what I said, because by next week I'll feel like 9 years went by and won't have anything done, or we'll completely forget, and then be like, oh, we got to put this into place now. Okay. All right, Plex burns through any remaining goodwill by raising the price of its lifetime subscription by $500. What the F is Plex, Trey?
Oh, Plex is really cool, and actually, you would really like Plex because what it is, it's a service where you can put all of your movies digitally and then stream them anywhere. So it's like Netflix streaming, but it's yours. And the lifetime was $250, and if you decide you want to get into this, you should get it before it goes up because now it's going to be $750.
$750, Trey.
Which is eye-watering.
That is fucking ridiculous. What is that? That's now what a month? I don't know how to do math.
It's
no, don't do the math. I want to do it on calculator. That's $63 a month or $62.50 a month. That's ridiculous.
That's not a year. That's lifetime.
Oh, this is a lifetime subscription?
Yes.
Oh, that's not. I mean, that's still kind of expensive.
It's still $7 a month. They're like $70 a year.
That's still kind of expensive for a lifetime for $500 increase. That's crazy.
And
the company says it's doing this to better reflect the real ongoing value of its software and to support its plans to maintain and expand in the years to come. On May 19th, Plex announced that it will increase the price of a lifetime Plex Pass subscription. This is the plan that unlocks all the premium options for users, including the ability to have friends and family remotely stream your personal library of movies and shows from anywhere in the world for free without paying for a Flex remote pass. I mean, if your friends and family can access it, I don't know, $750 kind of seems like a decent price.
That actually does sound like it's a pretty good. So the idea that you can actually send it to friends, not just family, and you can access it outside of your house, those are really good features. Those are fantastic features, and I can actually understand why they are charging that now.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You have Plex?
Nope.
No, I don't know. That's pretty cool. I didn't even know that specifically. I didn't even know that actually existed. But
software is wild, man. It's fantastic. So this started out, if I remember correctly, open source too.
Oh, that's cool. All right, guys. Well, in some sad news, Tom Kane, Star Wars and voice acting legend, has died at 64. The actor played Yoda for decades, as well as characters in Powerpuff Girls and more. Tom Kane, a prolific voice actor in video games and animation, has died at 64 years old. Galactic Productions, a talent agency that helps book actors and more for convention appearances, posted about Kane's passing on its Facebook page with a tribute to his work. Though it doesn't get into specifics about his passing, Kane was publicly dealing with health troubles following a stroke in 2020, which left him unable to speak, leading to his retirement from voice acting. So we wish Tom Kane the best in heaven or hell or wherever he went, or whatever he believed. And to all of the people and the people that are around him are to get over the passing. I don't know how to do these things. Over the morning of his passing, I suppose. I wish everybody the best in this. And I'm glad that Tom Kane was able to gift us with his voice over the years as well, I think we don't give enough attention to the voice actors, but there's so many great actors that are voice actors that we need to recognize.
100% agree. These people have serious talent, and it is something where we should definitely respect them for it.
And one of my favorite comedian writers of all time, Mel Brooks, donates document archive to the National Comedy Center. I'm excited about this. I'm excited to actually go see it if it's going to be on display. The donation includes a treasure trove of production documents spanning Brooks' decades-long career as a writer, performer, director, and producer. Through films like Blazing Saddles and Spaceballs and a pioneering career on television and Broadway, Mel Brooks has had a lifetime of serving up the funny. Now the 99-year-old comedy legend plans to share it all with his legions of fans. The National Comedy Center in Jamestown, New York, announced last week that the Oscar-winning filmmaker and comedian has donated a major collection of previously unseen documents and photographs to the museum. The donation includes approximately 150,000 production documents and 5,000 photographs spanning Brooks' decades-long career as a writer, performer, director, and producer. Trey, we're going to have to make it over to Jamestown one of these days.
Yeah,
have you ever seen Spaceballs or any Mel Brooks stuff?
I have not seen Spaceballs. And I
have you seen Robin Hood Men in Tights?
Something probably on the internet a while back. I don't.
Oh my gosh! So
very much.
when I was growing up, my mom was a single mother, and so after school, I had to go over to my great grandmother's house, and she would watch me while my mom finished up work. And during the summers, I would have to spend the whole day there. In fact, I might be thinking of the summers. In the summers, I had to spend every day there, and that might be what I'm thinking of. But I spent a lot of time with my great grandmother, and we would watch in the afternoon like old shows. So it would be Addams Family, Bonanza, but the best one was a show called Get Smart, from I think the 50s, maybe the 60s, with a gentleman named Don Adams. That was a Mel Brooks television show. I don't know if you know the Get Smart with Steve Carell and The Rock. It was like a movie that they did, but it's like the shoe phone. And that's from Get Smart. That is my favorite comedy show of all time. I have DVDs of it. I love watching it. It's one of my favorite shows, and I love Mel Brooks, and I'm excited that they're going to be making a Spaceballs 2, I think. So,
are they really?
Yeah, he announced it on somewhere. Yeah, I think that's really cool. All right, Trey. Well, with that being said, I appreciate you. Any last final words and calls to action, sir?
I don't have any calls to action. If you guys are interested in checking out my Substack, it's creatortrade.substack.com. And if you guys want to find me anywhere else, you can find me here at Age Radio naturally, and everywhere else, or everywhere also at Creator Trey. And
yeah, all right,
I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And right after this, guys, if you watch our X Spaces, if you go join my Dope Insights and Updates, I'm going to put some of the Google stuff that we watched, links to that, as well as I had said yesterday on the Spaces, and then I forgot until right this moment, because I want you to go and join my Dope Insights and Updates broadcast channel. Follow me everywhere at Age of Jeremy. My podcast Age of Jeremy comes out most Tuesdays. Also have a great conversation that's in the in the production room right now, where I sat down with Annie Landers from Junior Achievement, and we talked a little bit about their work and Junior Achievement BizTown. So with that, everybody, as I always say, be thankful, grateful, and kind. Listen to Age of Radio podcast, and we will speak with you next time. Bye.